Hi everyone, it's Adrian Leah. This is going to be a quick reading. Um, I have class in the morning. I've I'm trying to get at least some sleep because the last two classes that I had like in person, um, I didn't sleep before I went in, and it might be because of when I sleep regularly. And then by the time I fall asleep, I just had to wake up soon anyway. So sometimes I just like don't even bother falling asleep because I don't want to sleep and then get into a deep sleep and miss class. So I just have to put away a couple more things. I didn't put away everything, but I feel like I put away the main things. Um, I'm not the quickest organizer, but I usually keep stuff in a place for a period of time because I like it there. So I'm going to take my laundry out of the dryer at least and move the featherweight Singer sewing machine into my room, and um I've I've been enjoying it. I love both of the machines for, well, I love that the featherweight is portable and like I could just carry it and I don't feel like I'm carrying weights like my other machine. I love how I have it with the table, the sewing machine table, and that it's heavy duty. I would say that the featherweight sews a lot, um, but I don't mind if it doesn't sew certain things, um, or if I have to use an accessory to add on to help it sew certain things, and that will definitely be along the line or further down the line because my other sewing machine can do those things right now. Um, it's not an industrial one, but it is one that you could do a lot with. So, um, just featherweight. It's just like it's a huge thing for it to just be a classic and for me to be able to use it more freely. I'm gonna start pulling out the cards because I just ramble. I made a non-dairy mac and cheese today and I'm just I'm just so happy with it because I've tried a non-dairy vegetable based sauce mac and cheese in the past, and um, it mainly tasted like the vegetables. I, it's also because I've been watching a lot of vegan videos, and I tried to see what I could do with the food that I make. I really enjoy mac and cheese in general. I have to be careful with dairy, especially heavy cream. I always say it because with some dairy, it depends what it is. It might be a wait for me to get hives, but if especially like if there's like a pasta that has a heavy cream base, there's not much waiting to it. Like I will probably get hives right away. And it's like having a seafood reaction. I turn into a bubble everywhere. I've gotten sent home from work because I try going and I'm like, I can work. And then they're just like, no, go home. um, so I saw a couple of mac and cheese recipes, like kind of soul food type of mac and cheese vegan recipes, and I'm just so happy with it. I used a Parmesan, a dairy-free Parmesan, and like the nutritional yeast, a lot of different seasonings. And I mainly got the dairy-free Parmesan first because I've had dairy-free Parmesan other places, and I've liked them. I would say I am more picky with those types of cheeses because sometimes I just don't even get through the first couple of maybe slices. This was like shredded cheese that I used. And um, you do add stuff to it. So this one on its own, it wasn't bad, but I notice a lot of times, especially like the box non-dairy mac and cheese, like I keep saying non-dairy, it could be like plant-based or vegan or what have you. It's just, I don't mind like salty foods, but some of the plant-based or like the non-dairy mac and cheese boxes, instant ones, they're so salty for me, and I can eat them, but it's like I wanted to modify it if I could do that. It's almost feeling like the right time type of situation. And I try to give helpful readings, and I hope it comes out the right way like that. Because I don't try to give like a bad reading, and I feel like that's what it is. Because the last reading, I felt like it was a good reading. Um, I feel like it's one of those situations where, oh, builds character. Because you do come across certain people, and I'm not like trying to point it to anybody specific, but that's like what I was kind of getting in the reading, where people might be a certain personality. Maybe you're not used to the personality. Maybe they try to go over your personality. Maybe it could be like um, an overseeing type of person where there's just that sense of like they demand or they tell you things. And I'm not saying that those are like great situations, but I do feel a lot of the potential when you don't break your back in it, or like that sounds weird. When you don't let people that try to do that to you bring you down. It's those types of things. It kind of reminds me like when I was at my pharmacy job and I was training with the owner there, and I've said it like it felt like she, well, not felt like that, but it felt like she like ripped like 13 new assholes like for me because she like would rip into you. Like if you did something, like she'll train you. It was great because like not a lot of places will be willing to take in somebody that I had some pharmacy experience, but I didn't have like the compounding pharmacy experience. And she like trained you from like the ground up, but she like ripped into you when you did something. And do I want that type of stuff? Mm, I mean, um, I tried not to take it personally, in if that makes the whole situation and you know good. But I understand another perspective too because Like these two cards, I turned over the Archangel Oracle, and I felt like there was a little more like of wanting to have that type of energy into it. Now it could be like the loving energy, because these two cards, nurture Archangel Gabriel. As you nurture a child, you nurture your own inner child. Both activities are important for you right now. So I feel like that could be like the energy of what maybe you or another person is going for, instead of just like if something goes wrong, like pointing it out if something goes wrong. I feel like it's one of those things where if somebody tells you something, maybe they're not necessarily trying to get advice, but like trying to console in somebody that they trust, or just that type of intimacy there that seems more gentle than like ripping into you. And again, it's not something where I was thinking that it was in a bad way. Like I thought the reading was like going into a good direction. I mean, still I do see that there's a lot of improvement, because in the future you have the Chariot with the Hermit, both major arcana from the Glory to Ukraine Tarot. I will say with the Hutzel Tarot, I've been loving it. I feel like because it's more of a, just the way that I read it, it seems more direct because it has a strong foundation in the traditional Rider-Waite imagery. I'm not saying the other decks don't, but I feel like they're more abstract than that one. So I feel like together it's like you learn the core values and then you take it with you, and you take the reins on it with the Chariot and the Hermit, because it's Virgo and Cancer energy, so earth and water. And I feel like with the Chariot card it becomes less wishy-washy. And I'm not saying that that this could be like a super wishy-washy energy, but just by like the movements of the crab and even movement of water too. Like there's such an ebb and flow when you look at water, the ocean, like it just moves like that. And so when you pair it with earth, it gives it more structure, because water takes volume and it doesn't take volume. It takes like the shape of what it goes into, is what I was trying to say. So that could be good for like the formation of things, and it helps like build those areas that may not have taken shape in your life. Along with the nurturing card is the All is Well, Archangel Jeremiel. Everything is happening exactly as it's supposed to. With hidden blessings, you'll soon understand. Oh, yeah, I just remembered something. So, I've had a Skype account for years. I'm not saying I go on there, um, like a super amount, but they're like retiring it, or what did they say? They said it's no longer gonna be like active or available come May. And I'm like, oh no, that's kind of sad, because um some people don't like Skype. I found that it did the stuff that I needed it to do, but I'm not a tech savvy person, so like maybe I'm not the person to like be talking like that. Um but me sometimes like I accidentally blurt out like, oh, let me just like get a floppy disk to like save, and I'm just like, oh my God, Asia, just shut the fuck up. And um but that's another reason why I know why my phone is full. Like, I'm sad about it, but I'm also super sentimental too. And if I had like any type of sentimental conversation, like, I'll be like screenshotting like the hell out of stuff. And that's why my phone hates me, because it's like basically at its fullest capacity. And I was thinking I would reactivate my photo bucket, which is sad because, well, I was feeling like I could do like a because they say like, oh, once a month you can add your storage to Apple, and like, I don't trust you. But I mean, possibly. But um, I could. Well, I also want to use PhotoBucket because I feel like I have my old stuff on there too. I have my old stuff on one of my first iPhones that I had, the really cracked one. So that's like $5 a month. That's why I've been holding off on it because I'm like, me and subscriptions just like don't go together. Like I don't have a Netflix. I like kind of piggyback off of my parents' Netflix. Like otherwise I wouldn't get one myself. I tried Hulu, had it. I was just like I didn't watch enough to go on it. I honestly don't mind TV. I like TV in a way where you could flip the channels and like be a little adventurous, and I don't even know what I want to watch, but apparently I found this and now I'm gonna watch it. But not a lot of people have cable anymore, which is kind of like sad. Like when I stayed at a hotel for a couple months because um I was trying to see when the visa would approve, and like it's unpredictable, and I was me backtracking the whole time. I'm gonna get back to it. I'm sorry, but um, they had cable, and I kind of liked that because I didn't even know what I wanted to watch, and it's usually background stuff anyway. But it also made me think that well, I had to take my course anyway, and with government stuff, with a lot of government stuff, like especially recently, it's just been taking forever. So I don't mind that much, but I was also thinking, hopefully it's not going to be like this next year. But I was thinking, um, if Ukraine still needs help and they take in medical teams, like medical volunteers, I'm not a doctor or a nurse or anything, but hey, if you need help, like I got you covered. And I think that I'd be able to give my support in that way. But I don't know if they'd even want me. Like they say like, yeah, for sure we're taking volunteers. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't know if like you're looking for this specific volunteer, but I'll see. Um, but I'll show the other oracle cards. So you have gifts from God, Archangel Saldaphon, we angels bring you gifts from your creator. Open your arms to receive. Then spiritual understanding, Archangel Raziel. I am bringing you esoteric information and symbols and helping you understand spiritual truths. And then prioritize, Archangel Metatron. Focus on your highest priorities. I will help you to get organized and motivated. So there's like specific things. And honestly, with this whole car situation, it's like crazy. Not my car, but like the actual like obtaining a license from another state at this point. Not even for my driving, which is crazy. Um, and I feel like they made a mistake with it because when I called the first time, they were asking me about my insurance, and then I gave them they're just like, September this day, did you have insurance? Because if you didn't, we're gonna like um well, they already stamped me for like not being able to get a license somewhere else in another state. But I'm just like, this is weird because I've used the same insurance for like at least 5 years and I haven't switched, so I don't know like what's going on with that. And so like I said like, oh, I have USA, and they're just like I feel like the demeanor changed, and it made him like she like or something happened where there was a mistake because they needed specific information. And then she's like, oh, I gave like the basic information. She's like, well, since you have this insurance, we don't need anything else. And I'm just like, okay, so did you make this mistake or not? Because you kind of screwed me over if you did. So then I called again. I don't know if I called the same number, but then they told me it was like another reason for like why they did. And I'm just like, dude, you guys gotta like, I don't even know. But I'm just like, I'm not trying to like start anything because I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. But I thought that was just weird. So I don't know. Maybe they're angry at me. I'm not trying to talk shit, me saying that. Um, but with those oracle cards, it just felt like kind of like the meant to be type of thing, as I was saying, like with the car. And I'm not saying like don't work, but I'm also thinking like when I was over the years when I was in school and even college, like I wasn't working. And I don't know if something's just like forcing me to like in life. And I know some people are gonna be like, Adrian, you crazy. And I'm just like, well, I have the opportunity not to work. So I'm just like, is the world like forcing me not to work? Because this is getting ridiculous. And so if I like just fold in and be like, okay, fine, I guess I'm not going to, and they're just like, okay, here's your license. I'm like, dude, like, I'm kind of feel frustrated, but okay. So, but with like, and even the recipes that I was getting, I was like, with spiritual understanding and prioritizing gifts from God, it just seemed like the right time because for a while I didn't give up on like plant-based stuff, but I was thinking if this is how it's gonna taste, like maybe I gotta wait and like look at other stuff because it's a good pasta, but it's not mac and cheese to me. So let me turn over the other cards. I guess like a lot of people were listening in because the past was like the Ace of Pentacles, and then it's matched with there's a lot of twos here for the cards that I pulled out, and then it's like the Page of Swords, and that's like the one that just like spews out like a word vomit type of person. That's like so um I don't know if they're like well damn okay, and I don't know sometimes it's just I'm not saying it's just with air signs because I feel like a lot of people could do this too, but I just noticed that like with air signs, they just sometimes they have really sharp tongues and because well, we're like the air signs and I'm not saying we're the only communicators, but that's like our main element um like with thoughts and communication and we know exactly what to say to just like piss somebody off. And I'm not saying that I've tried to piss anybody off, but I'm just saying like in general, like the it feels kind of like that, like for real, it feels um pretty accurate. Because I know like my friend who's also an air sign, who has been calling me and she's like, do I sound mean? And I'm like, I don't think you sound mean. But then people, I'm thinking like, do people think I sound mean? So, um, okay. There there's so many it just feels like a lot of strong energies coming because present it's the death card, major arcana with tower major arcana. And it just feels like together it's just such a strong adapting like change, like adapting to change after something so drastic has happened in your life. And it's like working from that. The Eight of Pentacles was in the last reading. It wasn't in this position, but it's how to overcome the obstacle. And the obstacle, I don't feel like it's bad. And I said that in the last reading too, but I'm not trying to revert back to the last reading that much because I don't know if there was like some discomfort there, but, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but it comes from like the obstacle is the Page of Cups, and then how to overcome the obstacle is like the Knight of Cups. And that could be like also being the bigger person. And in the obstacle, you also had the Three of Swords. So this could be somebody, because you see that the person's playing an instrument. I still don't know what that instrument is, but it's a Ukrainian one. I need to do this. donuts again. And it's always me with not like that, but with me like trying to get yeast to rise. I used a different yeast than what I normally use because it was cheaper. Because I was like it came in packets and they were saying 7 grams and I don't know. Um, but like Americans, it's like we want to use every type of measurement aside from like what most countries measure with, except like in the lab. So you're kind of doing your conversions to your American measurements. And that one packet equaled the amount of measurements that I needed. But I usually go for a specific type of yeast for baking, or a couple ones from the one brand that I know for sure that I um, work well with. And I didn't have a I didn't have a thermometer to check the milk, and I just didn't want it to get too warm, so I did kind of check it to make sure it wasn't like scalding. And then next time I might um hand mix it instead because I was thinking I would do that originally, but then I'm just like thinking, no, I could just use the mixer because I've been using it for the other meal that I would do that I'm sad I didn't do this week. But I still have some in the freezer um, because I've been trying to save it because I need to go to the grocery store. But anyway, so the obstacle is the Page of Cups with the Three of Cups. And I'm so sorry for this reading. Like, I keep rambling, but since it's going from the page to the knight, I just feel like there is that overcoming like the Three of Swords, which I think is a big thing. And I also feel like it's being like the bigger person too. So if they kind of, even though it's one and then going from the page to the knight because it's the page, knight, queen, and king type of sequence, I also feel like it could be different energies too. Like if somebody was affecting like the Page of Cups and making them feel a certain type of way, I feel like maybe the Three of Swords or like whoever did that type of action, there could have been um wanting to mend that in some way. And this is something maybe that it's not the first time they've done that, but it's also energy of like I don't, it feels almost like going full force with it. Like it's not half-assing something, it's trying to like actually put the effort in. Which could be that learning curve with the hermit. And it might be like tedious or like something that is a slower process. I feel like with earth energy, things tend to be on the slower side. Um, so the energy for those cards. It's just like I just again meant to be because of the oracle cards. Everything is just so cohesive with each other. The only sorry, I don't know when my dad's coming back, so could be the middle of the night, could be like not in the middle of the night. I don't know. But that's probably the wind because the wind was just like knocking over all the trash cans, and I was just like, maybe I'm not gonna do that. And it's not like there's so much trash in there. It's not like I want to keep the trash in the garage, but I'd rather not have it like fly all over the place. So um, I think that's the wind. So the overall energy is the King of Cups with the Six of Cups. Now I was saying that there isn't the Queen of Cups that I have here. I haven't turned over I'm using the Slavic Legends too. But I haven't turned over those cards yet. But the Queen of Cups isn't here, but it's like there's six of Cups is almost like the Queen of Cups because there's a woman there, and they're both holding like vase, Asian vases, like pitchers, and there just feels like an eagerness. Like I know that with the King of Cups, it's almost like a energy of like holding your composure, but at the same time, like there's a sense of eagerness that comes from the King of Cups, and it feels like it could link to somebody that they already know. I would say that they already know he or she. I'm not reading for genders because like the if you think about the Six of Cups like time frame, it's usually kind of linked to the past in some way. So that could be somebody from the past or somebody that like they're associated with that they've known for a while. And it doesn't need to be a person, it could be a situation too. But I feel like that is good. I said it like that, but there just seems to be like such an anticipation with it. Also Scorpio energy too, because the King of Cups is a card that you can associate with Scorpio, and then the Death card you can associate with Scorpio. And Archangel Dreamiel too. Um, and then another major arcana. Let me turn over the last cards. Another one too. So many major arcana cards in this reading, and I just feel like for some reason I was getting like love in the air. Well, so the first two cards, Major Arcana Temperance with a page, I'm sorry, I was gonna say page. So it could link to like the Page of Swords because the Five of Swords is here. And the Five of Swords, it's like an energy that kind of takes things too far. But then with Temperance, there's something that kind of like um it's almost like energy that brings it back, that makes it almost pure in a way. It's like using the energy in a different way than oh my god, why am I saying it like that? Than what you would expect. Um Another thing I noticed that I'm just like my voice keeps cracking. But so the last two cards, the Lovers and the Star at Major Arcana. So there's Temperance, Death, Tower. Temperance, Death, Tower, Hermit, Chariot, Temperance. Wait, did I say Temperance or Death, Tower, um, Hermit, Chariot, Temperance, Lovers, and Stars. So that's seven. Major Arcana. And a lot of the court cards are cups. And maybe like Aquarius energy too with the star card. Both air signs, so could be like linking to air energy. So with the star and then the lovers Gemini energy, again, I'm not reading for signs necessarily, but you could learn from the different signs too. it almost feels like cycles and then almost like overseeing energy too in a way. And I feel like it feels it's like a little angelic too because there are in this the lovers card there are figures in the back and then the star it is more of a divine energy in the reading. So is temperance. So I do feel like things can be going in a good pace. And let me just pull out maybe one more card. And it's crystal clear intentions. Archangel Michael, be clear about what you desire and focus upon it with unwavering faith. So I feel like the King of Cups, it feels like it's like an energy, as I was saying, of anticipation too. And I'm not saying it's not acting as a King of Cups, but it just feels like um not out of character, but it's feeling it so strongly that the composure is almost like or something is where it's noticeable in a way. Because with the Lovers card, I keep like honestly, I feel like it's almost energy of like I'm interrupting something because it just feels like there's heavy um yearning or like romance and there's the court cards in the cup suit and I feel like the Six of Cups in a way it can link to the Queen of Cups. So thank you guys so much for watching. Um I'll see you in another video.